session of our series of webinars organized within the Sisi project, the Sisi initiative. Before presenting the agenda today, I would leave the floor to the colleagues from ETF to say forward and to welcome participants.
Okay,
Loretta, the floor is yours. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everyone. I am Loretta Calcagno from ETF. I am a project officer of ENE project, ETF Network for Excellence, and we welcome all of you to this meeting. We hope that it will be very interesting because this time it will be really concrete and hands-on webinar with an expert, Tiziana, who is coming here to, let's say, show her experience and transmit to you some tips and tips to prepare your action plan on social inclusion. So we hope that you will be all engaged, and I pass the floor again to Germano to continue on the concrete steps of this meeting. Welcome all.
Thank you very much, Loretta. So first of all, let me say that today's webinar has been designed by ETF and NAIPNet more as a practical workshop rather than a webinar as the 3 previous thematic webinars that we carried out before. But first of all, I would like to say that today's agenda includes a very interesting presentation by Tiziana Ciampolini, who is president and head of capacity building area at SNODI, a group of non-profit organizations, but she will say a few more words and present herself and her organization better afterwards. Then we will have 2 practical exercises on the methodologies and tools that we can use to build an action plan. So one is about the challenge map, and the other one is on how to go from questions to actions. And these will be carried out by the colleagues from NAIPNet. Then there will be a part in which we will talk about the future steps of the Sisi initiatives. And then we will, of course, have the closing remarks. So we actually envisage an active participation of all the people taking part in this webinar or workshop. I would now leave the floor to Tiziana Ciampolini. I don't know if my colleague from NAIPNet, Daniela Dalzotto, wants to say a few words before Tiziana's presentation. Okay?
Well, actually, I would be would be very glad to say a few words.
Thank you.
And to join you. Thank you, Germano, to join you in welcoming all the participants, first of all. And just to put this this last appointment that we're having together in context, you know that I've been following the work of this community of practice since the start, which was in December 2021. And so it is quite an important moment for me. Now we are at the end of this path that we walked through together. And yeah, just to provide, as I said, a little bit of context, you all know that we started more than 1 year ago, as I said, building up our community of practice. We had a chance to get to know each other, to know very well all the members of this partnership. But that's not all, actually. By telling each other what we do in our training centers, we also had the chance to acquire not only informations about the other partners, but also acquire awareness, to get more aware of what we do in our training centers and what are our areas for sure of excellence, but also our areas of improvement, let's say. From all this process, we know that some common areas of interest has emerged, And these common topics are transversal, are of interest to all the training organizations, and they are kind of beyond the great diversity that is represented in our community of practice. So we have seen that within our partnership, each member has a relevant expertise or a genuine excellence in at least one of these areas. And we're talking about, for example, the use of technology for social inclusion, or the ability to activate local partnerships with both institutions and also private actors. We have been seeing how some of our partners are great and have great know-how on pedagogical innovation, for example. So these are all the results that coming up from this peer-to-peer work that we did. It is a methodology that we have decided to use right from the beginning with ETF. And we know that it has sometimes be quite demanding because we have to work with peers, but remotely. And so we were lucky enough to have the chance to meet in person in last November in San Sebastian as well. And but still, even if it's sometimes challenging and demanding, we are still convinced that the peer-to-peer work was successful. We have tried to build a common platform to work together and to, let's say, provide tools to work, to provide or propose some tools and a common ground to work together as a community of practice. And which is, let's say, something that brings us to today, to the workshop that we're having today. Because still, even in the appointment that we're having today, we are proposing some methodological tools and some examples that can be used to build an action plan, which is the result, kind of the output that we are expecting from the Center of Vocational Excellence at the end of this path that we did together. And for this purpose, as Germano said, having a look at the agenda, we will going to propose some exercise to you, but we are starting with our host today, Tiziana Ciampolini. We invited her just right to show an example of something that can be done actually by local actors, and she's here to represent SNODI, which is a local network, a group of non-profit but also profit organizations working together on social inclusion, social innovation, to grow cohesion, sustainability in local communities, and to enable local communities and people and places to develop. What they do is precisely to support these local actors to strengthen their capacities and realize projects, practices and programs to enhance social inclusion. So we invited her as an expert in innovation processes. She works, as I said, for SNODI network, but she is also a teacher at the Polytechnic of Turin. She teaches design for social impact. She has directed an important observatory in Turin for many years. She represented the Caritas Italiana in the European Task Force. She's also a member of the Assembly of the Forum Disuguaglianze e Diversità. And I will leave the floor to her. I hope that, this presentation was comprehensive, but I will leave the word to her also to add other useful information. Many thank you again for being with us today.
Thank you very much, Daniela, for this presentation. Is a very complete presentation, so it's not important for me to add some other information, because it was very clear. And I'm very happy to be with you today to share experience, to share a point of view. I work, are many years that I work with the local community, helping them to innovate their approach. I starting 30 years ago, more than 30 years ago, in my town, in Turin. I work in the south of Italy. There are many differences between local community in the north of Italy with the south of Italy. And before the COVID crisis, I worked 5 years in the Balkan region, and me and the team of Caritas Italiana help 10 countries to work together and to try to change their approach about the intervention against poverty. And during that period, very interesting and very emotional period, we help the community and the Balkan region to create more than 80 social enterprises that work together in a sort of ecosystem, regional ecosystem in which Caritas try to change their approach on poverty and to transform the approach from assistance to social economy approach. And I will bring you this kind of experience to express and to share with you some idea about social innovation. I prepare some slides that I'm going to share. I believe, I hope that are very simple slide that then I can leave to you, and that can be, I hope that this slide could be useful for your work to introduce my reflection about social innovation in context of poverty or scarcity of resources. I share the screen. You see the slides?
We cannot see your slides yet.
No?
Sorry.
Maybe it's taking some time because the connection was slow just a minute before, but now it seems fine. So you can maybe try again. Yes.
Now we can see them. Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. My short intervention is on building social innovation ecosystem. And it's not so easy to understand what is an ecosystem of social innovation, and I try to explain you the idea of ecosystem. It's impossible, in my opinion, to do social innovation without to put the attention on ecosystem that it's necessary to create to permit the innovation to flourish. Why do we innovate intervention against poverty? This is the first idea that I will give to you. We don't live in an area of change, we live in the change of area. This is a word of inspiration of Pope Francisco speak always about change of area. What's the meaning of change of area? I try to show you some elements of change of area. The elements are technological innovation, change in the working world, migration, globalization, unequal distribution of wealth, changing demographics, wars, and climate change. These are the principal elements of change of area. In many communities, in many territories, we find all these elements, or only a part of this element. When you work on fighting poverty, there are some problems in the different territories. Inequality in distribution of well-being, inequality between community, between territories. I say before that, for example, in Italy, there are many differences between the north and south of our country. In this moment, we are living in a situation of limited public resources. When we work in the territory, we find fragmentation of intervention, lacking of systemic change. We find many experimentation, but few policy that transform the experimentation in stable intervention. In many territories, we are waking of internationalization. And in this moment, we see that in our community, there is the entrance in the field of fighting poverty, new stakeholders on the national, international level that requiring results, sustainability, and high impact and economic impact. In particular, there is a big change in the form of finance of intervention, and there are some donors that require that the territories and the community are able to think in a logic of impact. To do social innovation, when you do social innovation, it's important to change management of the problem. It's important that the skill of the team, of the group, are oriented in problem-solving skill. It's necessary to introduce a proactive behavior. And it's important being able to develop partnership with different stakeholders to produce good results. It's impossible to produce good results and impact results alone. When we speak about social innovation, we have to speak about sustainability of initiative. And I repeat the concept about it's important not only to create sustainable initiative, but it's important to produce high social impact. Contribution in innovation against poverty. I put in this slide some keywords about social innovation. The first ingredient is the creativity. I use the word of Yunus. If you want to fight poverty, the first thing to do is to be creative. Second ingredients, social capital. The accumulation of human capital is central to the development process and a key to the long-term reduction of poverty. These are the words of Jeffrey Sachs. It's an important economist of sustainability. And she worked many years from UN and produced many books on sustainability. Then the work of a woman, Ikal Angelei, sustainability. If we want to be sustainable, we need to give communities the knowledge to organize and produce resources. Here there is a very important word, a very important concept. We need to give community the knowledge to organize and produce resources. The knowledge management is one of the most important things to be sustainable. And then, when we speak about social innovation, we have to introduce the idea of systemic action. It's important to take part to realization of systemic change, and it's important then when you innovate, you help to design new policy, new collective action in order to foster social justice. And then another time, produce high and deep impact. It's not sufficient to speak about high impact. It's important that we produce deep impact, long-term impact. How do we innovate? When we speak about innovation, we have to introduce new approach. What's the meaning? When we speak of poverty, in particularly, we speak about impoverishment and vulnerability. And if we use the word social innovation, we have to use a generative approach, not only emergency approach, not only redistributive approach, but something of different. And when we use the concept of social innovation, our principal aim, scope, is generating resources, generating ideas, processes, intervention, economic and social results with long-lasting effect. How to support new approach? Sustainable inclusive communities that generate job opportunity. This is the principal focus of social innovation, in particularly in your territories. Local networks are called to generate conditions for community that are involved in creation of job opportunity for people in need. And how to support new approach? Scouting good communities involved in searching new solutions, sustainable, good, effective idea for a short time, company to choose good strategies to grow, building ecosystem for social enterprise. Why the new approach? And here I try to introduce the idea that it's impossible to create social innovation without involvement of local community. Poverty reduction measures should involve local community, more local communities. Action to fight poverty cannot be carried out out as they were before the crisis. To produce answer, the process must involve entire territorial system. And then multi-level synergy must be activated to find solutions to complex issues. When we speak about poverty, we speak about wicked problem that don't have a unique solution and don't have a final solution. There are kind of problems that in which we have to face every day with new problem. There is big problem and every day small problem to solve. And every day we have to find a partial solution that can be helped to arrive to a big solution, more big solution. The perspective of system can be overcome by reciprocity partnership and reciprocity practice. Daniela before used the concept of community of practice. You are a community of practice in which responsibility and reciprocity, co-responsibility and reciprocity are the key word to create new form of exchange between people. And social innovation is the result of the people contribution to the creation and evolution of their living environment. In the idea of support the growth of local context of social enterprise and social innovation, is important to use is important. In my case, was important to use some strategies. Investing in common work in wider context. The best thing I experiment, the best result, I saw the best result when we create exchange with different country, different experience. When we put together the north and the south, east of west of a continent, and exchange between continents. People share idea, share point of view, share opportunity, difficulties, and in some case in which people say it's impossible to do this in my context, they can see that in other context was possible to experiment. And so people, the community, starting to assume the risk, to try to make some change. Then good results are produced by the connection of different intervention tools. It's important when you start to innovate to put together conditional and transfer, training for practitioners, supporting the creation of network between different countries and stakeholders. Then 3, innovating practice are a good way to create new possibility for inclusion and generate development. In the case of my experimentation with Caritas Network, Caritas can experiment that Caritas was only an emergency agency, but also a development agent of change. Another important thing is investing in crucial people. The creation of expert, professional, and skilled community in social economy, for example. And then it's important to experimenting new form of granting funds. My experience say that putting together these different strategies is possible to innovate in wide context and with high impact and deep impact. When you do innovation, it's always important to put together diversity and help diversity to manage the change. It's very difficult to put together different organization, different point of view, different rule, put together ONG with enterprise, but it's a very beautiful challenge, and only in a context of diversity, high diversity, is possible to do innovation. When you do innovation in local network, other think that experience, other lesson learned of experience. When you do innovation, you have spent time, many time, investing in mindset and skills for community, professional, volunteer, policymaker. The changing mindset is the most difficult thing to do. Is the most long thing to do, but is the investment in changing mindset is the more important thing to do. Then investing in mindset, but also investing in exchanging between peers in different countries. Before, some of you say that you do some study visit. Study visit is one of the most profitable experience to understand things that in a classroom or in their own office impossible to understand. Exchange between peers in different countries, but also invest in short study visit on the field, also in your own country. Then it's very important economic support for the community that try to create a new solution. It's important to invest in creation of specific tenders to support the local community. Specific tender because every community is unique. So it's very important to design tailor-made economic support for that kind of community. And then to create micro grants to engage other stakeholders in the funded project. And then another important thing, social innovation is based on collaboration, but it's a good idea to combine collaboration, responsibility with creation competition between different projects, to have the project to pay attention to sustainability and durability, and create a competition on sustainability and durability between projects is a very great experience. It's important and make training to create social economic skill. For example, in the project that I will present before, because I worked many years in the network Caritas, we changed management when we start to do social innovation and social economy. We put together a new team in which work together people that come from experience of ONG and people that come from experience of social economy or profit experience. We create a team with high diversity in which there were 3 or 4 people coming from people with different skill, with different background, and with different experience. ONG, enterprise, social enterprise, and we put together this, bringing together this group to work together and invest in create new skill for all the members, and to create also a common background to work in the world of social innovation. The change we want to introduce, what we need to change, new competence and skill to reduce resources. It's very important for you that are vocational center. Then invest in systemic approach for long-term result, and invest in mindset, new way to see problem and solution to support changes. I go. Another important change, another important thing to create cultural change. It's when we speak about creation of new competence, is important to help the team to introduce new instrument of analysis and scouting, instrument of diagnosis of good solution, instrument of training, mindset and skill, instrument to co-evaluate process and result, instrument to valorize and improve the processes and results. Okay, I try to expose briefly a project. I prepare also a video, but we are not sure that it's possible to see. Before I speak to you about the fact that I worked many years in the Balkan region, the project was called ELBA project. Developing social economy in Southeast Europe was a great experience in which 10 countries worked together to create a new mindset and new competencies for social economy in a very difficult region. And I try to expose to you briefly some element of the project. We invest in capacity building, we invest in study visit, we invest in tenders. We work in capacity building, study visit, tenders in the same time. And the effect was an effect of high impact because we do these 3 things in a contemporary way. Okay, I go. In another, we create in this area, during the first 3 years, in the first year, 21 social enterprise in this different country, and then within 5 years we passed from 21 to 80 social enterprise. The effect of the work arrived after the first investment. We create a situation in which different countries of the Balkan region work together with the European Caritas, national Caritas. We put together Serbia, Montenegro, Bosnia and Herzegovina, Kosovo, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Albania, Greek, and they work together with Italy, Austria, Spain, France, and USA. Italy, Austria, Spain, France, and USA have different approach about social innovation and social economy. We need a big effort to find the common line. For example, in Italy, we put Italy and Spain put a big effort on community work, and for example, Austria and USA put a big effort on social business, on create business. But the combination between these 2 points of view, difficult to combine, but after we give to the country of the Balkan region a very wide point of view, and starting from this point of view, they could create in a market, in a contest with a big scarcity of resources, big scarcity of market. We could create a small social enterprise, because we are speaking about small social enterprise that did real inclusion for people in need. For me, it could be interesting to show something about this project. If you believe, if you want, I try to show you the video. I don't know if the video.
We would really appreciate. Yeah, we would really appreciate if you could show the video. Yes, please, Tiziana.
We try.
Yes.
Try.
Yeah, let's try.
Okay.
crisi economica e poi sociale che ha colpito i paesi dell'Europa occidentale a partire dal 2007-2008 si è gradualmente trasferita in questi anni ai paesi del sud-est Europa, provocando anche in queste realtà una serie di difficoltà inizialmente economiche e poi anche sociali. Di queste difficoltà sociali ne hanno pagato il prezzo più alto soprattutto le fasce più vulnerabili, i malati mentali, i disabili, gli anziani, le madri sole, tutte quelle persone che facevano già fatica a trovare un proprio percorso, una propria inclusione sociale.
Il progetto Elba nasce dalla presenza costante di Caritas Italiana nella regione balcanica e nasce dalla capacità di ascoltare questo territorio e di cogliere quelle che sono le sue necessità primarie. Con questo progetto Caritas Italiana prova a dire che accanto all'accoglienza e all'assistenza occorre fare un passo avanti, generare alleanze per generare lavoro. Vuole essere il segno di una Chiesa capace di lavorare in maniera nuova, al passo con i tempi. Il progetto coinvolge 7 paesi: Grecia, Macedonia, Serbia, Montenegro, Kosovo, Bosnia e Albania. L'obiettivo è quello di creare un ecosistema culturale che ragiona in termini economici, ma anche creare un ecosistema di imprese attente alle persone più fragili. Il progetto dura 18 mesi, prevede 3 tipi di attività. Un training formativo per i local coordinator, che sono i coordinatori paesi, che sono i veri animatori di questo processo culturale. Prevede per loro un training sulla cultura dell'economia sociale. Prevede delle study visit nei paesi coinvolti e in Italia per apprendere esperienze che funzionano di economia sociale e di impresa sociale, e prevede la creazione di un network europeo di Caritas e di altre organizzazioni disponibili a sostenere anche in prospettiva questo progetto.
Grazie ai fondi messi a disposizione dalla Conferenza Episcopale Italiana e da Caritas Italiana, il progetto ELBA ha supportato 21 imprese sociali, alcune già esistenti, alcune create ex novo, per l'inclusione lavorativa e quindi anche poi sociale di queste fasce vulnerabili che più di tutte hanno patito la crisi economica che si era trasferita nel sud-est Europa. E quindi al termine del percorso di Elba 21 imprese sociali nuove stanno offrendo possibilità di impiego e una nuova forma di inclusione sociale, una nuova forma di welfare a queste persone che si sono trovate in particolare difficoltà.
Mi chiamo Radoslav e sono da poco il direttore di una cooperativa che si chiama Rad Dar, che significa lavoro dono. Il nostro dono alle persone disabili è loro lavoro. Dobbiamo sapere che in Bosnia e Herzegovina, in paese dove abitiamo noi, c'è tanta disoccupazione, che si avvicina pian piano al livello di 50% forse, e dare lavoro in questa condizione a una persona disabile è molto significativo. Ogni giorno facciamo diversi oggetti e diversi prodotti, sono i souvenir e anche le cose che si usano ogni giorno, da poco anche con sostegno da alcuni donatori e benefattori stranieri e anche con l'aiuto di progetto Elba abbiamo fatto questa serra dove si produce anche frutta e verdura per le nostre cucine, perché ogni giorno nelle nostre cucine si fanno 300 pasti per i nostri utenti. I nostri operatori vengono volentieri ogni mattina al suo lavoro e chiedono sempre se c'è da fare ancora qualcosa di più.
La situazione dei Balcani e dei paesi dei Balcani è particolare, vengono da situazioni spesso di lungo post-conflitto che ancora si protrae nel tempo, vengono da sistemi di welfare che sono soprattutto assistenzialisti e basati su una forte impronta statale, per cui molto spesso la società civile e le stesse chiese hanno faticato a trovare il proprio spazio. In questa situazione anche le Caritas locali e le organizzazioni locali sono state per molto tempo e per molti anni supportate da fondi provenienti dall'estero. Devono quindi trovare il loro modo per autosostenersi, il loro modo per promuovere i valori, ma promuovere anche la loro idea di inclusione sociale. In questo senso il trasferimento di capacità, il trasferimento di saper fare diventa fondamentale. Questo che per noi è più che essere un progetto che inizia e che fine, è soprattutto un processo e un percorso che vogliamo intraprendere tutti insieme.
So thank you very much, Tiziana, for this very inspiring video. Videos are usually very inspiring and also very easy to remember. We have used the videos during our peer visits, and we are convinced that they are a very effective tool to use when you present something, especially when you do it virtually, like in our case. I would also like to thank you very much for your interesting and exhaustive presentation. I think that the keywords that you identified and also the items that you mentioned in your presentation are in line with our project, because we have decided to give social inclusion a very broad meaning, and this is also what you did in your presentation. And among the keywords that you mentioned, skills, working in partnership, and high social impact are really very interesting. We have tried and we are trying through our peer visit to learn from one another, and I have to say that the commitment of all partners has always been top-notch. But I have one question, because you mentioned how important it is to work in partnership and especially to involve the local communities. So my question is, what are the steps to take to successfully involve the local communities? If you have a secret for that.
I don't have the secret. The changing of mindset, the involvement of local community is the most difficult to think, and the involvement of local community needs some special skill. There is all the area of community engagement and community management that is a strong part in the competence framework of social innovation. Social innovation is always a collective action. I don't believe in the alone innovator. You can have a genius, you can have an innovator, but if you speak of social innovation, you speak of collective action. And the investment in creation mindset and investment in special tools of community engagement is the most important part. When you invest in community engagement, you invest in creation of a common vision, in identify a common object of work, in design the social impact. For example, using the theory of change, mapping stakeholder, tool to management the community are all elements that we need to do community engagement. Another important thing in community engagement, there is the invest in design social impact, but it's important to invest in new form of governance of the community and the governance of the stakeholder, creation, how to say, context of work in which people, organization have specific role, because to do community engagement for social impact is different to work in a sense of network. Many people say we create network, but it's not enough to create network. We have to create system in which each actor have a specific role, and it's important the combination between the competence of an actor, another actor, that that have to be complementary to reach the result. I don't know if
no, thanks a lot. So it's very important to have clear aims and to share the knowledge and the skills. I don't know if the colleagues from ETF and IPNet, or if the participants to the workshop have any question for Tiziana. Maybe Daniela.
Well, I do
yes,
actually.
Daniela.
Yes.
No. Okay.
Yes, if Tiziana would be so kind to stay with us 5 more minutes. I have really, it is a kind of a question, but maybe more, I would like another advice from her experience, because we've been discussing even before this meeting that our community of practice is very diverse. That's something that we said, something that we are seeing each time we meet. And this diversity, I mean, our goal is to turn it into a strength, something that will bring value, not only challenges. Even if you have described this challenge as a beautiful challenge, I like it very much. Diversity is a beautiful challenge. So that's our starting point, but we want it to become a real value, not just, let's say, sometimes a complication. And as we said, we were talking earlier about the need to have a common ground, also a common vocabulary, for example. I don't know if you want to say more about this, because it's very important. It's something that has really resonate with me when you say it. So you've been talking about common mindset, common vocabulary.
Yes, in the specific, the starting point for the creation of common mindset is to see the same experience, because through make experience, through see, think, social enterprise, vocational center in the different country, people make answer to themselves, make answer to the other. In seeing the same thing help to make to formulate answer, and to try to give answer to this question, no, to formulate questions. Sorry a moment.
Oh, there was an hidden participant. We didn't know.
who didn't appreciate the presentation.
No. Or maybe he or her has a question.
Yes,
well.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, I think she's back. Yeah.
Yes, my dog. No, sorry. It's important to see the same thing and to formulate, not answer, to formulate question. And to formulate question and to try to find common answer to this question. In the formulation of answer, is important to make exercise to create a common vocabulary. It's possible to open a book and find a solution, but when we speak about community of practice, innovation in the territory, is important to have an approach of action learning and learning by doing and learning by project. So making project, seeing experience, making question, is possible to find some answers that in the case of situation like your situation, in which people come from Zimbabwe to Georgia, it's very difficult to identify exactly some answer, but it's possible to find some essential element that have to be present in a situation in which we speak about social innovation. So this could be a simple answer about the question. I hope that is useful for your work and useful for the people that are present in this webinar in your project.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tiziana. Thank you, Daniela. Are there any other questions or would the colleagues from ETF like to say something before we continue our road towards a roadmap? So
yes, probably
Loretta, okay, go ahead.
Yes, probably the most difficult part is to guarantee sustainability, I think, in this project, because at the beginning everything is very nice, everything starts well, goes well, but when the project finishes after 18 months, you said, what is the guarantee to continue the sustainability?
I show a video, some slide about the first phases of the project. The ELBA project is continuing with different kind of support about the Caritas network. In the starting point, Caritas network create a fund for social innovation for social enterprise, a fund to pay to finance capacity building, study visit, and the tender for the local community. In this for 3 years, more than 3 years, 18 months, more other 18 months, 36 months. With the different percentage of grant. In the first 18 months was 100% of funding. In the second 18 months, 50% of grant, and then from the first 37 months, it was a combination between fund of Caritas and European funds. And then after the combination between European funds and national funds. In that period, and then many of the social enterprise become sustainable. I repeat, the experience we made an experience in which in that kind of territory we don't create big social enterprise. You see in the video the Caritas network create, for example, many laundry in the community in which people in need work washing, ironing, and for example, they work for the hotel of the area, or for the esercito, I don't remember in English how to say.
The army.
Okay, they work for the army, for example. They create printer shop in which people can print their document. They create, for example, some in an area of Serbia, people create a bicycle shop, to a small shop in which people adjust the bicycle. This kind of experience. Many of this experience was sustainable, and so the social enterprise was sustainable, and the grant was used for capacity building, for creation of ecosystem, to improve the skill of the social entrepreneur, and to help the policymaker to think and to help to grow the idea of social economy, political condition in many countries, in Kosovo, in Serbia. During that years, the Caritas network helped the country to create some program of social economy, and also the social enterprise public policy. Also to write the norms of to help an NGO to do social economy. When a country, when ONG, when some organization work to create social innovation and social economy, it's important to work at community level, professional level, policy maker level. It's important to work in these three level of work.
Thank you, Tiziana. It's the explanation that we cannot change the world in 1 week, but step by step and little by little we can reach a very big result. So very interesting approach. Yeah, thank you.
No, another thing, when I specialize in intervention and long-term intervention, to see, it's important to have passion and patience, pazienza e passione.
Patience and passion, yeah.
Because before 3-4 years you don't see result. After 4, 5, 6 years you starting to see result. the durable result you see after 6 years.
Okay, thank you. So if there are no other questions, I would possibly leave the floor to my colleagues, Daniela, and I don't know if you want to start with the exercises. We are a little bit behind schedule, so maybe we can start with the exercises. What do you think, Daniela?
Yes, I definitely think so. I would take the opportunity again to thank you, Tiziana Zampolini. I know that she has another commitment today, so she probably needs to leave now, but thank you again. Okay.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It was very exciting to stay with you, to share this experience, and good luck for your work. Good luck to the local community, to different country, and see you soon, maybe.
Thank you again.
See you.